Hi everyone, it's Lynn from Finds of Yesterday, and I bought this jewelry box full of vintage jewelry, and I just wanted to go through some of the pieces with you to see if we can point out some of the different features that a vintage piece of jewelry would have, and then when you're out, you'll know what to look for. So the first thing I wanted to say about this whole jewelry box is that it smells musty, and I've had it sitting out in the sun for several days, bringing it in at night, of course, and putting it back out in the sun. And a lot of the smell is going away, except for on this main piece here, which is a piece was made in Morocco. And these rocks or stones, I think they're like porous because they're really holding in the smell. And this piece is really awesome piece, and it's new. It still has tags on it. See there, it says made in Morocco. It has a tag over here, made in Morocco. Let's see if it has a price on it. Nope. But anyway, that was an interesting piece. But this necklace here is stone. Very beautiful. And each little stone is separated by an individual, another piece. No, they put two together and then the little divider. This is a newer piece because of the clasp. You can always tell by the clasps. I don't think this has a name on it. But anyway, these are just gorgeous beads. Alright, then I wanted to show you some of these earrings. Look at this piece. It is just beautiful. It is enamel with some pink rhinestones in the middle. And it's sometimes hard to tell if it's new or not until you turn it over. And you can see there it says Coro on it. But if you look at the fastener, the clip, this V-shaped clasp that's holding these flowers together is definitely a sign of vintage. And those little rivets, or little, I don't know what else you would call them other than rivets, is how they put things together back then. This is probably from the 50s, and you can look for the V and look for these little rivets, and that will usually give you a good clue that it's vintage. And the clasp, the clip earring part is scalloped on the end. That's usually a sign of the older ones. But this box had 4 coral earring sets in it, very similar to each other. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Beautiful pink rhinestones with some gold leaves and 5 white. I think they're painted. If you look closely, you can see that they're painted and it's not enamel. And on the back, when we flip it over, it's got them rivets again. Coral is known for doing that. You can see it better when you open it up. But see how this whole piece is pieced together? That's always another good sign. And on the back it says Coro. C-O-R-O. Alright, and then we have another piece. This one's got a little bit different backing on it. But see how it's all soldered together so nicely, and it's got the name Coro across the back of this clip. And this style clip is usually a little bit older. But look at the front of this. Whoops. This looks enamel to me. And look at these rhinestones. They just picked some gorgeous rhinestones. Like, they almost look Aurora Borealis. They call that AB. But they took the time to put tiny little different colored stones. I got a blue one, a pink one, and a green one in each of the middle of the flowers. And how this is probably from the 50s or 60s, And look at the silver is still in really good shape. And then we have another one by Coral. Look at that piece. If I could focus on it. Isn't that beautiful? This is another, looks like painted petals, but there they use the iridescent rhinestones again, where they're just full of color. And the silver leaves just accent this nicely. There's one problem with this one. It is broke on the end. If I was buying this separate, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but since it came in the box, obviously I got it anyway. So this is a coral as well. If you can see the name right across here. And there's the rivets again. Let me open it up. You can kind of see how it's pieced together. You always turn your earrings over, necklace pendants over, to see how it was put together. And you'll get a good idea of if it's quality or not. These are pretty popular back then in the 50s. And this one is not signed. Do not see a name on the back. But it's also made with that rivet in the middle to hold the finding on it. But they're just so sparkly. Every girl loves bling. Then we have this necklace and a bracelet and necklace pair. And it's got these tiger eye looking stones in the middle. I'm wondering if they are lucite. Probably not. This, when you see a lobster claw like this, a lobster claw clasp, that's what that is. That means it's newer, like from the 1990s or mostly 2000s on up. But I think they started using them back in the 1990s. So it's a nice necklace and bracelet set. We have one lonely earring by itself. That's a pretty turquoise stone. That's my favorite color. Now we have some interesting cufflinks. As you can see, this is heavy duty, a heavy duty cufflink. When you turn the cufflink open like that, a lot of times there's a name on the inside, which I can't read at the moment if there is. Not on that side. There's nothing on the back. But it's an interesting little cufflink. It's golfer. And it's tarnished pretty bad, which I don't think it'll be able to be cleaned up very well. But it also had a tie clasp that went with it. Interesting. And we have this really pretty, I'm wondering if this is Bakelite. I don't have this. There's a solution that you can use to test for Bakelite. But Bakelite looks like plastic. They say when you rub it and heat it, it smells like formaldehyde. But they also have a certain, it's like a lotion type tube that you can rub on it and it will turn, I think, orange. That means it's Bakelite. But see the design on the back of this? It's filigree. That's what this fine detailing is. And you can see it's really thin. That is called filigree. These are really pretty earrings. I'm thinking they're probably worth $20, $25. If they're Bakelite, they'll probably be worth more than that. Probably twice as much. We have some silver cufflinks. Don't think they're authentic. I don't think they're true silver. Probably just, they're just plain cufflinks, and then there's some cheap little girls' earrings, or girls' rings in here. Little Disney ones, which I may have to look them up if they're Disney, because I don't know why they would have been in this jewelry box with all these vintage pieces. Grandma must have had them for her granddaughter. We have some interesting little train cufflinks. You can tell them are old. Just look at the hinge type mechanism on the back. And here's an antique car. Same type of thing. There's several of them. And I showed you them. And then we have down here this beautiful crystal necklace. And it just has this gorgeous iridescent sparkle to it. When you see this hook on the back, that's a good sign that it's vintage. Almost all the necklaces from the 50s and that era were made with that type of a hook. And that gives you the option to hook it shorter or a little bit longer if you want. But it's a double strand. It's just beautiful, beautiful. I love that piece. We have this spirally green thing. This is definitely not vintage, but it's full of seed beads. It's kind of squishy, like hollow. But that is a newer piece. And this is the last nice necklace in here. And these are stone. They're interesting. They got a film on them. They need to be cleaned up, but I bet they'll be really pretty once they're cleaned up. See how this orange one is compared to this round one? I don't know what's going on there, but this is really pretty. And you can tell by these in-between beads that it's older because it's just a different type of bead that you don't see nowadays. And then look at this one. This is a fold-over. I'm pretty sure that's what they call it, a fold-over clasp. They used them more back in like the late 1900s, 1950s, 70s. They still use them today, but this was pretty common back then, and they work so well. They still snap nice and tight. So this piece is really pretty. It's really long too. Could be doubled up. Make a nice long, nice full necklace when it's doubled. And that is about it. We have some earrings in here to match the purple necklace. And then there's one that's broken and I don't want to get it out. These beads are all falling off. So that is it on the jewelry box. I hope you enjoyed this and got a little bit of info out of it. We'll keep doing vintage jewelry if you're interested. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.